Hello and welcome back to another knitting video of mine. I'm so excited to bring this one to you. I don't think I can really consider it as a knitting podcast episode because it's more like a autumn winter knitting inspiration. I've been thinking about this video since the beginning of August, but because I've been on summer holiday for the last 2 weeks, I thought it would be more fitting to just record it when I'm coming back. So now I'm back in Germany, and there's also a little coaster here, which has been my little kitty. He's the best boy. Yeah, I've been thinking about all of the beautiful autumn patterns I want to knit, and also of course winter, just like transitional into winter. I've been having autumn knits on my mind since mid-July probably, and now that I've returned from my holiday in the south of France, which was beautiful, I finally arrived home to kind of autumny transitional weather. The last few days it's been very rainy and gloomy, which I was very happy about, and so I thought this would be the perfect time to bring this autumn knitting video to you. So I will start by going through my yarn stash to go through the patterns that I already have the yarn for, the things that I know I want to make, and then 2 things I hope to make or create, and also just some general more inspiration for you guys. I also made a Ravelry, not this again, Ravelry bundle, there you can find some more inspiration if you don't know what you want to knit yet, but I cannot go through all of them in today's video because that would probably make the video last for 2 hours at least. But yeah, I have my little yarn stash here, so obviously not all of the yarn that I have, but just the yarn, like single yarn skeins to show you what I'm gonna use for my projects. And I would say we should just begin directly. Of course, do let me know in the comments what you are working on maybe already, or what you plan on working on, and then just grab your knitting or whatever craft you're doing right now, and let's start the video. Also, little PSA, I have my laptop just here so I can look at all the pattern details. I will not go into too much detail for each pattern because you can just, I'm gonna link them in the description, and then you can just check everything yourself. Oh, of course, also today I'm wearing my Sandog t-shirt, which I love. I made this back in April, but I think it's the perfect autumnal moody t-shirt because of the brown wool, and you will see a pattern throughout. I have a lot of brown wool. If you've watched my recent video, my first knitting video on YouTube, you would have seen that all of my projects I've made so far are very colorful. And in all honesty, I'm not really a person that wears a lot of really out there colors. I don't know what possessed me. I think it was just the spirit of being a new knitter and wanting to experience everything a little bit. But this is very muted now. My yarn very autumnal and very basic, I dare say. I plan on getting some more colors maybe, but I'm honestly also fine if it just stays, you know, very much in the brown, grayish, beige tones. Also a little disclaimer, this is gonna be very petite knit heavy because I'm a petite knit fan. As a more or less advanced beginner, I would say I love petite knits patterns, and there are so many that I still plan on knitting. So yeah, just a little PSA, because I know a lot of people are not the biggest fans of petite knit, or you know, like to see videos where there's a lot of variety. I do have some small creators or creators that are not petite knit in here also, but I just wanted to let you know. Anyways, so the first, oh wait, let me grab my gauge swatch, because the first project I wanna tell you about is the one I'm casting on next, and I already made the gauge swatch. Wait a second. Okay, so the first project I want to do is the Honey cardigan by Knitters and Friends. I just stumbled upon this cardigan 2 weeks ago, and the story behind this is that I while I was on vacation with my boyfriend, we went to Urban Outfitters and I saw this beautiful cardigan. I'm gonna blend in a picture here or here, I don't know which side. Maybe I should scoot more over here actually, so I can blend this in more comfortably. And it had the perfect color, but it was like, ever since I started being a knitter, I don't feel comfortable buying knitted garments anymore, because I think every knitter has this, but I just think I could also make this myself. So I saw this cardigan, I took pictures of it, and I found the perfect pattern in the honey cardigan. And the wool I went with is the recommended wool, Peer Gynt and tin silk mohair in this combination, to have a little bit of a modeled, I don't know the term, is it modeled, like marbled, modeled pattern throughout the cardigan. So I went with a mohair that's a little bit darker than, or actually quite darker than the Peer Gynt, which in itself is already a bit, you know, like, the German word is perfect, it's meliert, but you know, just a little bit of texture inside, like marbled. And the gauge swatch is everything I was hoping for. It's a bit darker than the cardigan I saw in store, but it's perfect. I'm gonna try to show you here. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up, but I can also just blend in a video that I took. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I did swear myself I would not cast this project on until I'm done with my Olga sweater, which I've been knitting on since February. I was on Sleeve Island and just ignored the sweater, to be honest, but I already finished the first sleeve and gonna do my second sleeve. I'm working on it right now, and as soon as this is done, I will cast on this beautiful cardigan, and I'm so in love with this yarn combination as well. So let's go through a bit of details of the cardigan. The gauge is 18 stitches and 27 rows in a DK weight. The sizes range from size 1 to 5, the bust circumference being 110 to 150 centimeters, so not the biggest size range, but they are also fairly new designers, and I think it's still okay. Plus, if you wanted a bit more boxy, I think it will be fairly easy to calculate with this type of cardigan. And it's knitted on 4.5 millimeter needles. Yeah, I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It is a bit more boxy and white than the cardigan I saw in store, but I think I'm going to love this. I'm gonna knit it in the smallest size, so it's hopefully not too boxy on me. But either way, I'm really excited to knit this cardigan up, and especially this wool I think is so beautiful, and I cannot wait to use it. Now on to the second project I have planned since I think the end of July, and I already ordered the wool in July. So originally I thought I was going to cast this one on first, but now I'm craving a cardigan because I own some sweaters, but I barely own any cardigans. So I think it also makes just more sense for me to knit the cardigan first. But the second sweater, or the second, no, I already said it, but the second pattern I want to knit is the Sonia sweater by Petite Knit, and again I bought the recommended wool for it. One thing you will probably notice throughout my knitting career maybe is that I tend to always buy the recommended yarn, even if it's maybe a bit more pricey, because I would rather knit, and that's just me, but I would rather knit with the more, like, I don't want to say high quality, but you know, just the more expensive, maybe better sourced, you know, and like ethically sourced yarn, and have a garment that's going to feel the way I want it on my skin and last long, because it's something that I put effort in, and then I would just rather, you know, spend more money on one project and then have less projects throughout the year. I think this is the way I'm going to move forward with my knitting, but of course this is just the way I'm doing it, and I'm not saying, I don't want to say that this is the way or anything, but I think this is how it's gonna work for me. Anyway, so I bought the Jeholz Ölspinderi Handwerksgarn. I'm not sure if this is the way I pronounce it, but yeah, in the color, I don't even know, the brown, I think it's called chestnut or acorn, I don't know, but it's this beautiful brown yarn, and this is what it's recommended. I really wanted a brown sweater, I'm craving brown. I think brown's really the color of the year for me, or of the winter. And this looks so beautiful because it also has, you know, variety of colors inside. It's not just one brown tone. And the Sonia sweater is just a stable, you know, I think is it short row or, yeah, it's a short row shape, just a boxy top down stockinette sweater. And this is kind of going along the lines of my favorite sweater that I'm wearing all the time, which is from Zara. So nothing high quality, but I wanted something with a similar silhouette that's a bit more boxy, maybe also oversized. I think I will still knit this one up in size S, so it's not too tight, but not too boxy either. I think I bought 600 or 700 grams of this, so I hope this is going to be enough. And as all petite knit patterns, the size range is great. It's ranges from XXS to 5XL, and is I think I forgot to say, but this is Aran weight, and the gauge is 17 stitches and 24 rows on, I think, yeah, 5mm needles, which is perfect. I want to go a bit higher in needle sizes for my projects. I don't think there are many in here, but for the future I want to have some more chunky knits, because I feel like right now my hands are very strained from just knitting on the same needle size, which is 4 or 4.5 at the moment for all of my past projects. And at least I can knit again now, but you know, I think it's also good if I have a project with some German short row shaping, because on my last project, which is the Olga sweater, I feel like I've struggled a lot and I haven't really grasped the concept of it yet. But yeah, I mean, you can find a lot of sweaters from petite knit which look, I don't want to say exactly the same, but you know, just a stable sweater. And I just decided on the Sonia sweater because it looked the most, you know, like boxy and wide, but not too oversized fitting. I think this is actually everything I have in terms of sweater quantity yarns. So the rest of the yarns I will show you now will be for accessoires, knitted accessoires instead of garments. But I want to talk just quickly about one more garment that I really want to tackle, which is the Dagmar jacket by Petite Knit. I know it's been everywhere, but I'm so in love with this, and I have yet to knit a cable anything project. And the Dagmar sweater just looks perfect. I love the toggle, I think they are called toggle buttons, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's called toggle buttons. I love the look of these, and just the double moss stitch and the honeycomb. Oh my god, it's amazing. This is a trend right now. I've seen with designers that are, you know, designing cables with moss stitch and honeycomb, and I love it. I have to say, it's amazing. I know Ingrid's did the Foya sweater, which has the same kind of design, and it's just beautiful. But I really want a cardigan, because as I said, or jacket, I don't think I have any jacket, a knitted jacket, which is outrageous. Yeah, and the wool is from the same company, so here also it's spindly, but I think it's a triple. Yes, and I'm planning on knitting this in either just a grayish or maybe even with tweed, but I don't know if this is too much with the cables, because I feel like they are already, you know, they deserve their own spotlight instead of having tweed throughout, which could maybe be a bit distracting. So I just have to look at my little baby. He's so cute. I missed him so much when we were on vacation. But yeah, also this same size ranges from XXS to 5XL, which is amazing. Also Aran weight. This one has 18 stitches on 24 rows and is knitted on 4.5mm needles. But it's okay. I think this will be a project that I will maybe start towards the end of the year and then probably drag into spring with me next year, because I have seen other creators not really struggle but taking a long time with this, because it's such, I mean, it's all texture throughout, so I don't want to put pressure on myself, and I want to just do the easy ones before and then do this when I feel mentally ready. And I ordered some knitting for olive wool for the fundraiser with UNICEF for the Gaza children fundraiser, and I bought, first of all, this beautiful yarn combination, which is their merino and soft silk mohair in the color marzipan and oatmeal, for a pair of penny gloves. I have been eyeing those for a very, very long time, and those are really beautiful. I'm actually planning on doing a knit along, hosting a little knit along with a fellow knitting friend of mine on Instagram for the penny gloves, or maybe it's gonna be just, you know, knitting accessories in general. I'm not sure yet, but you can definitely check out my Instagram, because by the time I upload this, I will probably have already posted the knit along invitation. I have never knitted with Knitting for Olive yarn before, and I'm so excited to start knitting with these. They feel incredible, and also the penny gloves I feel like are such a staple, just like a nice basic to have, and quite beginner friendly, I think, which is great for the knit along, because then it's a bit more inclusive. If we decide on just this, which I don't think will be the case, but I feel like this is a great project that you can just take on the go and knit everywhere, you know, in contrast to a sweater, which will maybe, when it's big, be a bit hard to take in your little bag, especially when I'm on the bike. But I cannot wait to cast this on. This is a combination of, I mean, technically they use cashmere, but I wanted to go with the merino because I checked on Ravelry the yarn ideas, and a lot of people have used this combination, so I know it works, and it's actually one size, which I'm keen to see how it's gonna fit on me. I think my hands are normal sized. I was gonna say I have small hands, but I think it's just my wrists that are small. It's knitted on 3mm needles and in a sport weight. 25 stitches and 35 rows is the gauge. So this will maybe potentially be a bit straining on my hands, but I'm not too worried about this. The next combination is the Knitting for Olive. No, this is not the one I wanted to grab. Yeah, this one. The Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the color Brown Bear with. And now I have to decide. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go for, because this combination will be turned into a weekend headband, and I think for the weekend headband I would maybe like for it to be a bit more cool toned. I have the soft silk mohair in either Brown Bear, so the matching color, or in chocolate. I will have to see which one I will go for, but yeah, this headband is also, I feel like, such a staple and just a basic knit that is nice to have in your wardrobe, because my ears get quite cold already in the autumn, especially here in Germany. The wind can get really aggressive, so this is perfect. I will have to see about the silk mohair combination, but yeah, I am in love with this. I love the cool toned brown, you know. This brown is quite warm toned, and you can see in contrast, I mean, it's way darker, but it's also way more cool toned, so this is nice to have. I feel like this would also be nice as a sweater potentially in the future. Well, there's really a lot of brown in this video, but there's even more to come. Yeah, this will be turned in a little weekend headband. It's knitted on 3.5mm. It's worsted weight, which is why I chose the heavy merino. I think here again I was inspired by the yarn ideas. This one actually comes in 4 sizes, so children, then SML. Is again one project that you can easily take on the go, and I think could even be done in a day if you really want to lock in, which for me is not an option right now with my fragile hand. But either way, I'm really excited to knit this one up. And then I have a bunch more. I have 3 skeins of Cardiff cashmere in here, which 2 of these will be turned into, I mean, actually, I think all 3 of them will be turned into Sophie scarves at one point. All 3 of these I picked up in my favorite wool store in Berlin, which is Woll in Berlin. They have this cute little display there. I can blend in a little video here from my last visit there, but I can never resist taking one. And this one I picked up in April, back in April, when when their tweed options freshly dropped. And this is like a gray with neon tweeds. I love it. I did not expect myself to grab this one, but it spoke to me, and I think I will gladly turn this into a Sophie scarf. I'm not sure I'm going to keep all of these for me, but I know for sure that all of them will be turned into Sophie scarves. I just love this. And this one is a brown. Maybe I should have said all the colorways, but I think I did on most of them. Anyways, this one is the color 303 tweed. Then this one is 305. It's a brown, dark brown with like blue, yellowish tweed. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's very beautiful. This I picked up on my last trip there, which was 2 weeks ago. And then this one I picked up, I think, a year ago already, or like the first time I went to Bonn, Berlin, which was maybe in, yeah, actually I think it's February of this year, but it doesn't matter. And this one is color 622, which is just a nice brown, just quite matching with this one. With my tinseled mohair, but it's beautiful and perfect for a Sophie scarf. I also love the Sophie scarf. I know there's again a little controversy around the Sophie scarf, but I'm a huge fan and have already knitted 2 in Cardiff Cashmere Classic, so I'm looking forward to this as well. And the last brown I have is soft silk mohair and merino. I don't know what I'm going to use this for. I thought, I forgot to put this in here to prep the pattern, but I want to turn this into a weekend hat for me and my boyfriend, which was the color together. Yeah, I already knitted the weekend hat. It was my first ever knitting project, and I failed because it was my first knitting project. It was quite hard for me, but I think now I will be able to toggle this one easily. This will be a lot of brown knitted garments or accessories this year, but again, I feel like brown is such a nice stable color, and through this shirt I discovered that brown is something that I like to see on myself, so I'm not regretting this at all. And as you can see, the color palette was also very highly inspired by my little kitty here. And the last yarn I picked up in Bonn, Berlin also 2 weeks ago is Sunday and Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. This is in Rainy Day, and this is the color 1042. And this will be turned into a honey clutch from Petite Knit, which I plan on knitting with my mom together. I don't know when. I just picked up this yarn because I know I want to eventually knit this, but it's not in my priority list right now, and I think it's more of a project that I will maybe cast on and then just have on the side for me, for whenever I'm in the mood to have something with a bit more texture, maybe when I will get bored of all the stockinette cardigan and sweaters and accessoires I have planned. And now I want to go into some knitting patterns that I know I want to knit and that are great for autumn and winter, but maybe just not this year. That can also serve as some inspiration for you. So the first one is the Noah sweater. Actually, I have wanted to knit this one since I first saw it, which I think was like in March or April of this year. It's just a nice, I think, mock neck, or maybe it's even turtleneck, but I wouldn't, me personally, I would modify the pattern as to not be a turtleneck but more of a mock neck. The only thing that held me back is that the yarn combination is quite expensive, so the ballerina chunky mohair from Sandnes Garn with bossed alpaca, which is something that is just, I have not been wanting to invest this much in just yet, but it's a beautiful chunky project which is knitted on big needles. I think it's knitted on 8mm needles, which sounds like a dream because it's gonna be knitted up so fast. And I also want to knit this one in brown or maybe in like a beige tweed, could also be nice. It's really, really chunky and it comes in a size range from XS, extra small, to 4XL. So the size range is also amazing. I have seen some people complain about the fact that you have to buy the patterns with yarn. I personally have not had this problem yet for Sandnes Garn, but yeah, so maybe this is something to keep in mind for you. Of course, you could also go for drops. I've seen a lot of people combine drops air and drops melody for this, but as I said, this is not something that I want to do, but a lot of people have knitted this in that yarn combination and it looks amazing also. The next sweater that I am so in love with, and I am definitely going to knit at some point in my knitting career, but it's not a priority for this autumn and winter, is the Perle sweater by L.E. Knit or Lena Holm Samso. And it's this beautiful, I think it's also double moss stitch or seed, it's called seed stitch pattern. I'm gonna blend in a picture here, and I'm so in love. The first time I saw this, I was blown away. So maybe I will try to knit this in maybe January or February of next year, but probably not this year because I also don't want to stress myself out. I have already knitted my rose top from Sandnes Garn this year in this stitch and it's so beautiful. Also, I would use the exact same color combination as she does, the beige grayish sweater looks just amazing, and she's knitting this in Sandnes Garn Silk Mohair and Cos or Sandnes Garn Poppy, so it results in a bulky weight garment and it's also knitted on very big needles. So I mean, actually the needles are not so big, it's knitted on 6 and 5mm needles, which sounds perfect for me. Anything that's bigger than 4mm is perfect for my hands, I think, at the moment, although I think by then they will hopefully be recovered. But yeah, it's 14 stitches, so also 14 stitches on 28 rows, which means this will probably knit up really quickly. I love the construction of this, the wide neckline and the ribbing looks beautiful, and I love me some drop shoulders, as you have probably realized by now, because I think all of the patterns, maybe besides the honey cardigan, I don't know, the honey cardigan is also drop shoulder, so yeah, everything is drop shoulder. I'm in love. I'm definitely going to knit this up, and it's crazy to me that it only has 30 projects on Ravelry. Hello, this is slept on. And the next one, I'm hoping actually to knit this up this winter as well, is the beanie number 6, which has been all over Instagram at the beginning of the year. I feel like this boucle, merino boucle beanie. I don't think I have to say too much to this. I would also knit it in this exact combination. I'm very unoriginal. The white beige boucle with the brown merino on top just looks perfect. Yeah, this is dreamy. Again, actually this is for a hat. This has a surprisingly large size range. It ranges from extra small to L, and it's knitted in extra small, you know, always 2 sizes together, but I think this is surprising to me. Knitted on 4.5mm needles, and the gauge is 15 stitches and 24 rows. Yeah, I love this beanie. It's beautiful and looks perfect for the cold German winter. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit because I feel like I'm filming for so long already. And then for some color work, because I haven't done color work yet. Oh, baby. Cutie. But again, I'm not sure. I'm not pressuring myself, not putting stress on myself. But at some point this or next winter, I would love to knit the Harriet sweater again by Lena Holm Samso. This is a beautiful pattern, like color work pattern. I've seen so many color combinations. I love all of them, especially the beige and the red, which also is kind of, you know, Christmas moody, so this could also be a perfect knit for around the Christmas time. Or if you want to have it in more decent or like not Christmassy colors, then you could choose literally any other color combination. I know her porcelain sweater is quite famous, but she has a lot of other beautiful color work patterns. Another creator that I love a lot is Aegyo Knits, and she has a beautiful. I think it's even bouclé in her picture. Looks like bouclé. I think this is what drew me to the pattern, is the bouclé yarn. It's her bio sweater, and it's very geometric, so not necessarily festive, but again a color work that speaks to me. This is knitted on 5mm needles, which is refreshing. The stitch gauge is actually quite big. It's 13 stitches and 15 rows, and it's knitted in Gepard Garn Teddy Deer. Also has barely any projects, 24 projects, which I don't understand. I mean, I get it, it might not be for everybody, but this speaks to me, and I really love her knits. I feel like all of her designs are quite timeless in a way. And then some gloves that I also considered knitting are the Isabell gloves, which is my name, by Studio Annelies. I did a test knit for her basic bikini in May, I think. And this is, I think, one of her first projects, and they are so beautiful because it's not just gloves in itself, you know, knitted in yarn, in wool, but she added some mohair lace details around both ends of the glove, which I think make it look very unique, and I adore those. Another festive colorwork sweater is the Northern Augustines number 4 by Anne-Sophie Belling, which is really like, this is really quite festive. Maybe it's also just because of the red beige combination that she chose, but it's this colorwork yoke sweater with little bows underneath that are beautiful. So looks so delicate and whimsical in a way. I really adore this pattern. I don't see myself knitting this soon, but I would love to knit this one day. I don't know if she has a children's version of this, but this could also be such a cute children's knit for your sibling or maybe child. And that's actually it for all of the knitting inspiration I want to cover in today's video. I hope you found some inspiration for yourself, or at least enjoyed the video. You can check my Ravelry account. I have made a bundle that includes a few more projects than what I touched on today, that are all very autumn wintry style. And yeah, I will definitely take you along my journey of knitting the honey cardigan and also all the other projects I want to work on. And I would want to say thank you for sticking with me if you've made it to here. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and I hope to see you again very soon. You can find all the details of everything that I mentioned in the description of this video, and I can't wait to see some of your knitting plans in the comments and have a little discussion or conversation with you guys. So yeah, thank you so much from me and little Bean over here, who has been a loyal companion for today's video, and hopefully see you again in my next video.